I have now an opportunity to talk you back in to your dream. But if you're just on the internet, you just push delete. Right? Well, in this telecommunications company, let me just tell you, by the age of 18, I bought my first house cash. $500,000. I don't know if you know what it feels like, especially if you buy a home and, when you were young, you were living in the car with your mom. When you see your mom hurting every single day, when you see the people you care about, seeing the little bit of water they have, they want to give it to us instead, and you can see their lips are dry. That house meant a lot. How many of you, if you put it in your minds, if you can just convert yourself a little bit to do the legwork, how many of you would be able to change your lives forever? Now let me tell you this, and I'm not trying to gloat or anything, but by the age of 20, I hit my first $1 million a year. You know what it feels, to literally be around so much money that you have no idea what to do with? I started spending, you give a 20-year-old $1 million a year, guess what I was doing with it? I was not doing anything bad, but I was spending a lot of money. I was going everywhere. I was enjoying, I was having fun. My family was well. I had my first kid. It was one of those times that, you enjoy what you're doing. At the age, a little bit after that, something happened that really changed my perspective. How many of you have been in an organization, you fell in love with it? You fell in love with what you were doing. And all of a sudden it was taken from you. Have you ever felt that? Well, that company was taken from you. The government, they had this deregulation on the long distance lines. Oh. And all of a sudden, long distance was sold by local distance, and guess what? There goes my business.
Business, right.
Yep. So now we're out there looking for something else. And I was lucky enough that I talked to a few of the key leaders in that organization. I said, we got together, and we headed over to these capsules that were diet capsules at the time. And at that time, I'm telling you one thing, I was thin, so I didn't need the diet. Like right now, I still need the diet, but back then I was 185 pounds, I didn't need the diet. And at 185, guess what? I went to these capsules, they were called, they were made out of ephedra. How many of you remember the ephedra? Mm-hmm. Oh, that was some wonderful stuff. You know what I love about it? That, to me, I made more money than people selling cocaine. People were losing weight all the time. People were losing weight like crazy. People were coming down. They were buying this stuff by the dozens. I go, you can't take that much. Go, no, sir. I'm buying a dozen because they're cheaper that way, and I'm giving them away. To my cousins, to my brothers. Age of 25, I made $5 million a year. That was pretty cool. Now, 25-year-old making a lot of money. Without the knowledge of really how to keep it right. I got into a lot of trouble. Buying a lot of things, a lot of toys. I had a 12-cylinder BMW that was going to 120 all the time on the freeway. You have a 12-cylinder, you don't know better, right? And as we were racing down, this thing, the government did it to us again. They took ephedra away. How many of you used ephedra, right? A lot of you? When they took it away, didn't we just cry? We cried. That stuff worked. I don't know what it was, but it worked.
Good for me.
And not only worked, it worked for my pocket. But when they take that away from you and you're making that kind of money and you're spending the kind of money you're spending, guess what? Right away, I got into a hole that I couldn't get out of. Have you ever been in I know a lot of people says, you know what, I'm hurting, I don't have the cash, I'm in the hole, I owe money. But when you have an income that was $5 million a year and you're spending that kind of money,
that's right.
And all of a sudden you don't have it,
it's like that lottery winner.
You can get in a deep, deep hole.
Yep.
So you start looking for what else to do. I started building my own business. Outside of outside of network marketing. And when I started building my business, I started building this beautiful business that was just distribution. And I had started it previously, but I had not really paid that much attention to it. But I paid more attention to it, and I started building it stronger and stronger. We started distributing some of the top products that are around, like Red Bull, Gatorade, Coca-Cola, Frito-Lay, Pepsi-Cola. I was the third largest Gatorade distributors in the whole nation. So we started making a lot of money though. I was in love, but there was something in my life that I missed. The stage. The network marketing aspect. So I went back to that company that was telecommunications. Now they were selling phones. They were selling these phones with like little TV screens. They were like an inch wide or something. You guys remember those? Some of you? And then we're told the promise that, you know what, if you ship these things to like Latin America, to your country or where you're from, and you have one on this side, you guys be able to talk to each other like the Jetsons?
It didn't work.
But it didn't work.
It didn't work.
But we're there, we're having some fun. We're having great meetings. So I kind of had that as like going to church. We did the meetings, we did everything. But my business was my distribution business, right? So little by little I started learning a little bit more and more and more. And then I got into a lot of other little companies. They had some successes, didn't. But I was really 100% into network marketing. Until one day, something happened to my life. I was at a place where my business was so huge, was so big, I was trapped within it. Have you ever felt trapped? My business was growing so strong that I was a slave to it. My business was growing so strong that I was losing containerfuls of pop, container full of Red Bull, Monsters, containerfuls of Gatorade that were just disappearing from the warehouse. I didn't even trust my family that was working there no more. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt in a position where you go, somebody's taking something from me? Mm-hmm. So now I'm showing up at 3 in the morning, I'm locking up and I'm opening up. Nobody I was counting the money now. I was doing the inventory. I was doing all the work I could. That taught me one thing. Time freedom is more valuable than money. You know, a lot of people do not understand that. But I'm telling you right now, time freedom is so valuable that if you can obtain it, you are free. Yes. If you can obtain it, you are really free in this world. It doesn't have to be millions of dollars. It just has to be enough to pay your bills and whatever it is, and you're free to do what you want to do. That is powerful. You know, one of these days I was crying. I could not, for the life of me, I could not believe I was getting robbed so in that kind of quantities. You know how I found out, by the way, when I got robbed? I was getting robbed. I was losing all this product. I got this inventory system. You know, computers were so new back then. And they gave me this computer system to do inventory. Then I had to call the guy. He goes, the inventory thing's wrong because you know what? My inventory is wrong. He's telling me that I had a couple more containers of Coca-Cola, let's just say. And it's not there. He goes, no, my machine is right. You're losing it. So he comes over, he fixes it, inventory-wise, and then he says, just keep an eye on the inventories. And it's surely but surely, inventory, we start losing some product, right? So I figured out that was not the business for me. I go, I'm losing too much business. That business outgrew me now. So I started praying. How many of you pray? I started praying. I asked God, I says, you have given me so much. Why do you permit this to happen? And I was blaming him, and I shouldn't have. And I said, Jesus, if you give me a sign that I don't have to do this no more, show me. Tell me. That night, I was crying. I couldn't take it no more. I went home. And, when you are working all day, throughout the night, you come home. I mean, you're working from 3 to 7, and you still drive home in like an hour and a half. You're getting home to sleep only, right? You have no kids. You have no life. You have no family. Yet on the only day you had off, which was Sunday, you went to sleep all day. So even you didn't enjoy the kids at all. And this is what happened to me. I got home. And I would usually go into my kid's room, give him a kiss, and go to bed. Because I didn't see him walking around. I didn't see him awake. I didn't see him anything. But my little baby daughter that I had like right here in my arms. How many of you had the pleasure of holding a little baby? It's a beautiful feeling, right?
Yes, it is.
But you know how scared I got when I went to give her a kiss and she was the size of this twin bed? I looked and I said, where's my time gone? I don't remember being with her. I was there, I was providing for her. But I don't remember being there. Where is your time? Where is the value? Was it worth to make all that money to lose the time of your kids? It's not. That's when you start figuring things out. I couldn't sleep that night. So I was a little tired going to work the next morning. And I was angry with myself at that moment. And I jumped on the freeway, that 12-cylinder car, remember? Hit the gas, and started going toward Los Angeles where my warehouse was at. It's like about an hour and a half away. As I was going down at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was racing down because I was already late, by the way. I got up late, and so I was trying to get there to open up. People were calling. They're already showing up. Trucks are showing up. I'm racing. And then something happens. As I was racing, I was crying. And he says, God, please tell me. What am I supposed to do? Why do you permit this to happen? Give me the sign. I kid you not, you can actually look it up. Newspapers will show it. As I was going down the freeway, have you ever been in a situation, by the way, before I tell you, where you're so tired, you can see things that are happening, like trains coming at you, or
Yes.
you're like, oh, I thought it was something else, you're that tired. I kind of thought that was this. But I literally saw it happen in front of me, where a garbage truck went off the bridge on top and came down and crushed 2 vehicles right in front of me. Now, if I was a second later, it would have been me. A second faster, it would have been me. And then I started thinking to myself, I paused, I shake, I couldn't stop shaking for hours. As I couldn't stop shaking for hours, I told myself, the only thing on my mind was, what if it would have been me? I barely, at the speed I was going, I barely was able to stop right in front of it. I mean, it was already crushed the cars. To my mind, I didn't believe it was happening in front of me. I literally stopped right in front of it. I mean, my car skidded, everything. I was able to stop. But I saw those two vehicles in front of me that they're gone. And I started thinking, do my kids need me? What am I doing? Why am I risking this? Why am I risking my life? My family depends on me. How many of you have family that depends on you? What would happen if you were not around? It's pretty hard, right? So that changed me completely. I went home that day, didn't even open the shop. Next morning I put it for sale. I didn't want it. And as I sold it, and I had to sell it in so many pieces because it was so big that a literally distribution ship, I had to sell it to in parts to a lot of different companies, which was okay. Whatever I didn't sell, I let it go, no problem. But I went home and I made the decision. I said, you know what? With the money I sold that company, I'm going to live the rest of the time that I can. It doesn't matter how long until I run out of the money. I'm going to live with my kids. I'm going to be home. I'm going to take them to school. I'm going to take them everywhere. How cool is that? Is that cool? So I did that. And money was going pretty quickly. I built a brand new home. And then I was bored. How many of you done nothing and you're bored at home?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was bored. And I was bored. Days were long. I mean, I was like anxious for my kids to come home from school. I didn't know what to do. I started putting flooring on my floor. I started doing the actual wood floors. I did it myself. I mean, that's how bored I was, right? I started learning how to do it. I started putting it in. I started putting granite in my house. I did it because I was just, I needed something to do. And then I was building this home theater in my house, where the seats go up like a theater. And I collapsed in pain. I couldn't stand this pain that I was getting. And this was another sign. I was so bored with what I was doing that, I was just doing whatever I can, but I was abusing myself because I needed to do something. That I started getting this pain and it wouldn't go away. I mean, it just wouldn't go. It was like right here. It wouldn't go away at all. Would not go away. But I was this one guy who hated to go to the doctors. How many of you hate to go to the doctors? And you avoid going to the doctors, right?
Yes.
We believe we're supermen, superwomen.
No.
Nothing's going to happen to us. So this is what happened. I said, I'm not going to take the pain. I mean, I've had this little pain before. I took some Tums, it went away. I thought that's what it was. So I went to get some Tums, I went to get some Rolaids. Later on, didn't work. Got some Pepto-Bismol, didn't work. I looked for my Lanta, didn't work. Pain was still there. Took some Advil, which I never took pain medicine before. Didn't work. Then I was so desperate. I was looking around. I found these. When I had a root canal done, I found these little capsules. The ibuprofen. There was like 500 milligrams or whatever they were. Started popping those like candy into me. And then I found something else that was a little bit stronger. Pop that. All of a sudden, I start feeling my stomach feeling warm and like not good.
Awesome.
And I said, and the pain was kind of there, but you know what? The pain that I was feeling in my stomach now, and I was like, oh my God, what I do? I'm just ODing on my own products that I have at home. So I drove myself to the hospital. When I drove myself to the hospital, I was thinking I needed a stomach pump. How many of you thought you were ill of something else that when you show up, it was something else completely? Right? So I show up to this emergency room. I walk right up to the window and I says, I don't know what happened because I need a stomach pump. I was mumbling a lot. of a sudden I see them running out, they grab me, they put me. I didn't notice, but my white shirt that I had on, because it was like 2 and 3 in the morning, I drove myself, everybody was asleep in my home. My kids were home. My ex-wife was home. Everybody was home. And I had this like white t-shirt on, and it was filled with blood on the side. I didn't even notice. It was sweat and blood. I found out my gallbladder burst.
Ooh.
Not had it removed, burst. And they took me in. It was like they did the like the babies, the sonic, the sonogram, or whatever you call that. The name just passes me right now.
Sonogram.
Ultrasound, there you go. So now I got this big, operation line on one side that, they try to take it, they took it out, obviously, they try to clean out the organs and everything. But here's the deal. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why I was sweating blood. They at the beginning thought I got shot or something, I don't know. But when I got into there, they gave me this morphine or whatever that was. I don't know, this is pain thing through a wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
Pain went away, right? And and all of a sudden, like after a while, they took it out. And then as they took it out, this is before even the operation, right? They're flying this doctor from San Francisco over the middle of the night via helicopter because there's no flights really, over to the hospital I was in. And I was just getting that pain again. And I started pleading to them, I need whatever you were giving me, that whatever that was.
Give it back.
Put it back in. Because I couldn't take it no more. I mean, the pain was so bad, I could not take it. And then the doctor shows up. They come up to me. He says, no, we need all the meds to get out of your body so you can sign some paperwork. And I said, no, I'll sign whatever, just take this pain away. He said, no, you don't understand. With what happened to you, because it burst inside of you, because all that venom is spreading really quickly. He goes, the chances of you being alive after this operation, I mean, we're going to try. You ever heard we're going to try? You know what it feels like?
Mm-hmm. I know that feeling.
We're going to try to save you. But we all know that you're going to come out of this dead. Just like that cold, I know. And at that moment, I started crying. I mean, and the reason I was crying so heavily is because nobody knew I was there. Nobody knew I left the house. Nobody knew. Because my kids go. I didn't even take my wallet with me. I didn't know what I was going to do. What's going on? I don't know nothing. I mean, it was just that bad. Now I'm thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then, I fell into, after I signed the paperwork, they put the gas on, and I fell asleep, crying. Doctor said, well, they were operating on me. I was doing that crying, breathing through the whole operation. But I came out of it alive. When I came out of it alive, I knew there was a reason. Doctors even told me it's really a miracle you're alive. The damage done to your liver, the damage done to your side of your stomach, the damage done to your pancreas is severe. So we had a few more operations trying to repair and clean up, but a lot of damage was there. So even drinking water was painful for me. But I didn't care, I was alive. Mm-hmm. And at that point, You know, I needed, I started, you know, remember I told you guys that I was building that theater room when that happened?
Yeah.
I got home from the doctor, you know, from the hospital, right? First thing I got, it was these seats that were waiting downstairs. They had been delivered. And here's me, just being operated, trying to push these things upstairs. So now I got a hernia.
Oh.
Man, you could.
But then that's when you sit down and you go like, okay, I gotta slow down. What's going on? And then I went through, remember I sold the business for a lot of money, millions of dollars. And then I found out when I sold the corporation, my insurance went with it. Have you ever been in a situation where you spend a lot of money in doctor bills and hospital bills, the specialty doctors that flew in, that, I mean, they charged me the helicopter. I don't think they charged me the gas, they charged me the helicopter. Right? And I mean, it was expensive. I mean, everything you looked at, I mean, I could have been at the Ritz-Carlton for like a couple months, enjoying the high life, but I mean, this place was, I mean, it was called the Hospital of San Bernardino, California. But as we were paying all that, luckily I had the money because of the sale that I did, the sale of the business. But now again, my income went from here that I had in the bank to there. Then I started to remember residual income. I said, well, I was home, I was with my kids, I was doing all this, I was bored. But if I had the residual income part of the business, my money wouldn't have gone away. I would have kept building. So I wanted to start to build another residual income. I started, you know, but I didn't want to do MLM no more. How many of you have been sick and tired of doing MLM many times, right? So I'm not doing MLM no more. And I don't know what had happened, but the day I was thinking this, remember that guy, Sean? That I was telling you, that he's the first guy who sat down with me? He knocks on my door at my home. He didn't know I was in the hospital, he didn't know I was sick. And he says to me, hey, Armand, I got this deal. How many of you guys been approached with, I got this deal? Right? We got this deal. And I was like, no, you know what, I'm not interested no more. MLM, you know what it did for me, I was, you know, every time I built an organization, the government took it from me, and I don't want it. It's a lot of problems, a lot of this. He goes, no, you don't understand. This stuff, they're not going to take away these things. Yeah, this is just fruits. It's a juice. How many of you have been in the juice company? Right? And I was like, what are you talking about, juice? Yeah, you know what, it's going to be some spectacular juice. It's not coming out. It's coming out like in 6 months, but right now they're trying to get it together, and guess what? There's a lot of funding behind it. We got some multi-millionaires are ready to invest. That's exciting, right? I was like, no, I'm not interested. He goes, look, Armand, you got to go. I go, I'm not interested. You got to go. I'm not interested. He says, no, let me explain to you, Armand. Because if you don't go, I can't go. And if you're not there, I can't be in because they won't let me in the door. You gotta go. They invited you. They told me. He says, but I'm the one excited, and I see you don't want, but if you don't go, they're not gonna let me in.